Horace Mann was one of the many Americans who responded to the surge of social, economic, and political changes in the 19th century. He mainly responded to one of the most prominent issues of the time, education inequality. By heredity and early training, Mann was suffused with an interest in the sake for humanity. He was also an ardent worker for the cause of charity, the kind treatment of defectives in dependence, anti-slavery, etc., and was determined to help those he grew up with using the education approach. But who really was this remarkable man who spread education to the underserved classes? What did people think of him at the time? What did he think of himself at the time? The one that he, arguably most importantly, gave himself can be seen by one of his most famous quotes in a report written to the Massachusetts state legislature. I believe in the existence of a great, immortal, immutable principle of natural law, which proves the absolute right to an education of every human being that comes into the world, and which, of course, proves the correlative duty of every government to see that the means of that education are provided for all. This quote, along with many others, reinforces why human is on the top of what Horace Mann identified himself as. I just realized something. Horace Mann identifies himself as a human, which makes him a human. In various letters, Mann, president of the Massachusetts Board of Education, addresses the writers of each letter as the Board or the Commonwealth, showing Mann's modesty. As we will see later on, Mann doesn't prioritize being a member of the board as much as he prioritizes being a commoner, because of the way he wants education to be equal for all people, like Horace Mann, a commoner. Without the schools, would our enterprise equally have circuited the globe and brought back whatever products belong to a milder climate or a richer soil? Without this simple and humble institution, would no change have come over our character abroad, our social privileges at home, over the laws which sustain, the charities which bless, the morals which preserve, the religion which sanctifies? Finally, Mann writes a journal called the Common School Journal, where he enlists various policies that he thinks should be initiated in the education process. In this journal, he shows off not only his qualities as a principal, but also his qualities as a journalist and writer. You can clearly see which one he prioritizes. Every teacher should be a faultless speller, familiar with the best authorities for the pronunciation of our language, and master of its grammatical construction. As one can see, Horace Mann places a lot of requirements on both adults and children when he initiates these education policies. Inevitably, he would receive a lot of hatred from both groups, which both called him immoral. The one thing that connected most of Horace Mann's identity was his role as a congressman. Because of his fame as a member of the Board of Education, as well as a well-known journalist and person who believed in equality for humans, Horace Mann was elected as a congressman. However, Mann's pursuits while in Congress stretched out to slavery as well. As a congressman, Mann took a definite abolitionist stance. The article, Horace Mann, Anti-Slavery Congressman, showed some of what he did as a congressman, as well as what his colleagues and various people thought of him. Horace Mann went to Congress a moderate anti-slavery Whig. In Congress, he had very few close associates and practically no social life. He looked upon himself as an independent reformer rather than as a politician or party adherent, and his excessive zeal led him into several bitter quarrels with individuals who opposed his views. This paragraph shows not only how historians viewed him, an anti-slavery Whig congressman, but also how his colleagues thought of him, an antisocial person who adhered to his own thoughts, more than the thoughts of his registered political party. These external identities are ranked by the legacy he has spread through each one of them.